Hi, Steve Arterburn here, and welcome to Going Deeper. And I suspect you either stumbled onto this or you'd like to go a little bit deeper in understanding some things about life. And that's where I am. In fact, I was just telling Bethany, who is the producer of this little feature, right after this, I've got some therapy I'm going to do with my wife. We go to counseling every week. We really believe in it. Why? We want to go deeper. We want to go deeper into the stuff that's in here that needs to be dealt with, of course. Then also, we'd like to have a deeper level of intimacy than ever before. I want to tell you, it works. I have never, really, I could just say this, at all levels of intimacy, things are better after 15 years than they ever were in that first year. So we've just continued to work, always will. And what we do, I don't know if this is helpful to you, but we look at motive and loving well. Isn't that great? What's my motive? Am I really trying to add to this relationship, partner, deepen our intimacy? Or am I manipulating, controlling, acting out of fear? All those kinds of things. So if you never gotten counseling, I think you're missing a lot. It's so cool to have somebody that knows what they're doing look into your life. I mean, you go to an accountant, you don't know what to do, and they figure all that out, straighten it all out, help you with your finances, because that's what they specialize in. Same thing with counseling. So just go do it. So I want to continue in our series on divorce and trying to get beyond, get through, get over the divorce. And it's hard. It's very hard. And I'll tell you, I really, when I went through a divorce, what was it, 18 years ago? I don't even keep track. I wish I had this. Oh, it would have helped. It would have gotten me into some things that I did not get into that would have been very healthy. So you get this divorce recovery workbook along with the Life Recovery Bible, and you can really do some serious work. Now, it's just a guide. And so today we're going into step 4. I want to read you the step, and then also I want to read you the scripture that we assigned with it. And by the way, in the second edition of the Life Recovery Bible, if you have an old one, get a new one. All the pages are the same, but there's some great things that weren't in the first one, like how to conduct a meeting and all, and some additional devotional material. But step 4 is simply, we made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. And the verse that we put with this is Lamentations 3:40, where it says, "Let us test and examine our ways. Let us turn back to the Lord." One of the translations says, "Let us consider the rock from which we were hewn." So folks that say, "Oh, don't look back, don't go back," and well, we do. We need to have a little time of reflection and examination. And that's what step 4 is really all about, searching. It means maybe I need to spend more than 5 minutes on it, searching. Maybe I need somebody that's done the search before, and they could help me, and they could guide me to go a little deeper in that search, make it more thorough. That'd be a good thing. So the searching part. We want to search. We want to be fearless in it. I don't know if that's the right phrase. Well, it is, of course, fearless. But what it's saying is I'm going to work through my fears to do it. And I'm going to do a moral inventory. Moral inventory. Where did I go right and where did I go wrong? Just yesterday, I saw a video of a guy who has had several run-ins with the law. So you look at his life, you go, well, that's just a guy. He's into drugs and all that stuff. And well, if he did an inventory based on what I saw, if he started to recover from that, one of the things he'd want to put on his moral inventory is that a policeman was in a horrific crash. His car caught on fire and he was trapped. And this guy, who had had several run-ins with the law, did everything he could and got that policeman out of that burning car. He would have burned alive. So when we're doing a moral inventory, don't forget those things. And they're so easy to forget. You've done some good things and you've got some good qualities. And I don't want to ever forget that. And so when we do a moral inventory, we want to be sure we include those. But I think more than anything, what I like to see happen is this. Take a look, and I've done this over and over again, at the impact of my behavior on another human being. The impact of my, maybe my insensitivity, distraction, whatever it is. What is my part? Now, when you go through a divorce, if you're the victim, and I think a lot of times the party of the third part or the victim, we're more drawn to divorce recovery. But if you're that person, then it's hard for you sometimes to see what was your part. Well, in reality, maybe you didn't have a part in the divorce, but you had a part in some of the difficulties in the marriage. And I'm really specific about this. When I got a divorce, people said, "What did you do to contribute to the divorce?" And I could say with all honesty, nothing. Nothing. Now, when they said, "Well, were there difficulties in the marriage?" Oh, yes, and I was a contributor to that. But I worked really hard. I was in therapy, counseling, and a lot of people made bigger mistakes than me. They're not divorced. So I don't take it on me that just because I had problems, because everybody does, I don't take that weight on me that I caused the divorce. I caused some problems. I could have done a better job. But I didn't decide to divorce. I didn't decide to betray. So I think that's important, that we only accept responsibility for the things that we are actually responsible for. Okay, so when I look at a searching and fearless moral inventory, there are some things that if I want to go deeper in it, I call them this: unintended secondary impact. Unintended secondary impact. For instance, everybody's got a propensity toward certain things. You're drawn toward things. Some things more tempting for this person than for someone else. It's just who we are. So you can imagine why somebody has to have a chocolate bar every day, but you could sure imagine why you have to have a few shots of vodka every day. Everybody's different. We all have weaknesses, and so we want to look at that. But sometimes I'm not aware of some of the things I say, how I deal with people. Folks with Asperger's syndrome are very unaware of folks. I have some of that within me. When I was doing some testing with Dr. Amen, there were these faces, and you were supposed to tell what were these faces, these pictures, what were they feeling, what emotion was being expressed. I was horrific. So when I went back 6 months later, I had so much improvement in so many different areas. In fact, there's this little machine you push, and the first time I had normal things that people with attention deficit disorder have. But the second time, I didn't even have any symptoms based on that test of attention deficit disorder. Well, I had studied those faces to get ready for that test, and I did worse on it the second time. So I know that there are some insensitivities within me that cause some impact on other people's behavior, and I need to look at that. It's not that I wanted to hurt somebody, but I probably did. And I look back, I see their reaction to me, and I think, oh, maybe that was one of those unintended secondary impacts that wasn't great. I want to put that on my moral inventory. I want to write that down. I don't want to forget that. I need to deal with that. Lamentations 3:32 through 33 says this: though God brings grief, he also shows compassion, because of the greatness of his unfailing love. For he does not enjoy hurting people or causing them sorrow. So God doesn't want us, wallowing in sorrow and suffering and feeling horrible. Well, let me tell you something. Doing that moral inventory is a great step out of that. And when I do this inventory, I sometimes look at the insensitivities, the subtle things. I look at maybe a lack of care and concern for others. I want to write down evidence of a double life, regrets, things that I regret happened or said or did, memories I don't want to go over. And I just want to, no matter who caused the divorce, I want to do this work for me and on my character. That's what we're going for, is just doing work on us. For so long in the beginning after my divorce, I wanted to prove I was the good guy, she was the bad guy, and then I realized what a ridiculous waste of time. Why don't we go to work on the good guy and humble him down? But I was so hurt, I really didn't know what I was doing. So also, I want to look at dishonesty. How have I, tried to cover up? How have I tried to look good, compensate? Those are things that go in an inventory. What am I still angry about? And what am I still bitter over? Searching and fearless moral inventory. I want to write it down. There are all sorts of worksheets online that you could get. But I'll tell you, this little workbook here, the divorce recovery workbook with life recovery, will surely help. There's a saying that if you spot it, you got it. Well, that's really helpful if you're doing a moral inventory. What are the things that I notice in people that kind of bug me? And it might not be the exact thing I have, but it might be a clue to something that I have that I need to deal with. That when I do, life's going to get better. Because this moral inventory isn't just something to stick up on the wall and remind myself of all my mistakes and a few of the positive things. I'm going to do something with it, and it's going to be helpful. In Psalm 119:29, it says this. It's the psalmist. He's crying out to God, "Oh God, keep me from lying to myself." Isn't that a great prayer to God? So that's my prayer when I do an inventory like this. God, keep me from lying to myself. Help me to write down the things that are so very important, including a knowledge that I've needed to grow, and I haven't done it. An awareness that the character within me had some weaknesses, and I didn't try to fix those. Now's the time to do it. Remember, I've already said I can't do anything about this stuff. Powerless. God can help me. I'm going to let him. And as I cooperate with him in the letting him, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to see the lay of the land inside my heart. So God, help me search and help me do it fearlessly to find the things I need to work on. And also, when I bump into those good things, be sure and make a note of that also. Step 4. We made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. It's a far cry from what we usually do, and that's do the inventory of the people closest to us. You let them take care of that. You stay on your side of the street. Well, thanks for joining me for Going Deeper. We're going a little deeper into recovery. A lot of people just think it's for alcohol and drugs, but it's for divorce, and I think anything that we deal with over here on the divorce side would help you to stay married and to be a better partner. See you next time.